It can take so long to make an animated film, it's easy for fans of a franchise to forget there's another one in the works. These are the animated sequels you can expect in the coming years. The DreamWorks-produced, Universal-distributed film The Bad Guys hit theaters in 2022, and it didn't take long for it to spawn a franchise. The success of the first film, which follows a criminal gang of anthropomorphic animals as they attempt to leave their shady ways behind, helped usher in 2 TV specials titled The Bad Guys: A Very Bad Holiday and The Bad Guys: Haunted Heist in 2023 and 2024. In March 2024, DreamWorks revealed that The Bad Guys 2 would arrive on August 1st, 2025. The film's official logline reads, "The Bad Guys 2 follows the crackerjack criminal crew of animal outlaws who are struggling to find trust and acceptance in their newly minted lives as good guys. However, they're pulled out of retirement and forced to do one last job by an all-female squad of criminals." Fans of the original will be happy to know the original cast are returning, so the likes of Sam Rockwell, Awkwafina, and Zazie Beetz are expected to reprise their roles.
Webs, you feel like a girl's trip? Yes.
In July 2024, news broke that Natasha Lyonne had reportedly joined the sequel, though her character's details remain unknown. The first Zootopia film hit theaters in 2016, so it's been a while since Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde saved the titular city from corruption. The film was a massive hit, pulling in more than $1 billion at the global box office. With figures that large, it's hardly surprising that a sequel is coming. Zootopia 2 was announced by Disney head honcho Bob Iger in 2023, and the first footage from the film was shared the following year at the company's D23 event. The clip depicted Judy and Nick in Marsh Market looking for a snake named Gary, with all kinds of silly imagery, like tattooed hippos and seals being served algae on a plate around them. Both Goodwin and Bateman are reprising their roles. It was also revealed that Academy Award winner Ke Huy Quan is joining the cast as Gary. Jared Bush, who co-helmed the first movie, will direct from a script that he wrote himself. The Mouse House has set a release date of November 26, 2025.
Hang in there.
In 1986, writer Alan Moore and illustrator Dave Gibbons got together and created one of the greatest comic book limited series of all time. Watchmen is one of those comics that many believed couldn't be adapted, and indeed, it proved to be very difficult. The 2009 Watchmen live-action film underperformed, and the HBO TV show from 2019 only lasted a single season. However, while live action hasn't worked out well for Watchmen, animation has been a different story. In 2024, Warner Bros. Animation put together an adaptation that's not only true to the story from the Watchmen comics, but also looks fantastic thanks to its beautifully dynamic CG animation. The 80s set film also boasted an all-star cast with the likes of Matthew Rhys, Katie Sackhoff, Titus Welliver, Troy Baker, Adrienne Barbeau, and Michael Cerveris. Seeing as the project was announced as a two-parter, it's almost certain that all these big hitters will be back for the second installment. Watchmen Chapter II will arrive in 2025, though an exact release date isn't available as of this video. What we do know is that Chapter 2 will be based on the latter 6 issues, as Chapter 1 adapted the first half of the 12-issue comic. The first live-action film adaptation of the classic video game series, Super Mario Bros., was a cinematic monstrosity that's renowned for how terrible it was. It took 30 years for another big-screen Hollywood adaptation to arrive, and fortunately, this one was animated, which allowed it to hone in on what makes the world of Mario so special.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
The Super Mario Bros. Movie was a smash hit at the box office, raking in over $1.3 billion worldwide. Hollywood doesn't typically pass on sequels when a film brings in that much cash, so a follow-up is naturally on the way. News of the Super Mario Bros. Movie 2 arrived on March 10, 2024, also known as Mario Day, from Illumination and Nintendo. While they didn't reveal much about the project other than its existence, they did reveal that it would be dropping in several territories in April 2026, with the United States set for an April release. The upcoming sequel is already generating a lot of chatter, including from the cast. For example, Bowser voice actor Jack Black told GameSpot he wants Pedro Pascal to voice Wario. Including the famous antagonist, who is basically the anti-Mario, would be an excellent way to move the franchise forward. But the direction the sequel will take is anyone's guess at this point. The Toy Story franchise is the gift that keeps on giving for Disney and Pixar. The first film was a smash hit, helping to make Pixar one of the leading animation studios, and the sequels have all gone down just as well. After Toy Story 3, it seemed like the toys' time was at an end. But then Toy Story 4 came out of nowhere and blew everyone away. In the process, it reminded viewers that Woody, Buzz, and the rest of the gang remain some of the best characters in the Mouse House roster. But how can they stay relevant in this day and age? The answer to that is simple. Toy Story 5 is going to bring the crew into the digital age. As co-director Andrew Stanton said at the D23 convention in 2024, let's be real. Toys have some serious competition these days with phones, tablets, and technology everywhere. This time around, it's Toy Meets Tech. A teaser image for the upcoming sequel shows the toy gang looking forlorn at the foot of a child's bed as the child in question sits under a blanket, eyes glued to a tablet. It's a clever way to continue the successful series, and there's every chance that Toy Story 5 will smash the box office when it arrives on June 19, 2026. Additionally, it's been confirmed that Woody and the gang will also have to deal with a 50-strong army of malfunctioning Buzz Lightyear action figures in this latest installment, which should make for some hilarious scenes. While viewers got to return to the world of Shrek with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish in 2022, it's been well over a decade since we had an actual Shrek film. In July 2024, DreamWorks Animation confirmed that Shrek 5 was finally in development, posting a brief teaser on X. Set to All-Star by Smash Mouth, the teaser features an ogre green number 5, complete with Shrek ears bouncing around below the words, "The All-Star Returns." This clip alone would have been enough to get fans excited about the new entry in the franchise, but there was more. In addition to a confirmed release date of July 1st, 2026, the X post confirmed that Mike Myers, Eddie Murphy, and Cameron Diaz would be reprising the roles of Shrek, Donkey, and Fiona respectively. The film will be co-directed by Brad Abelson and Walt Dorn, both of whom have a great deal of experience in and out of the franchise. Nothing about the plot has been leaked, so it's anyone's guess as to what will happen in Shrek 5. Even so, it's almost guaranteed to be a box office hit, given that the franchise has wide cross-generational appeal. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles returned to animation with the beautifully rendered Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem in 2023, which performed admirably at the box office and went down a storm with critics. Given the film's success, it's hardly surprising that a follow-up is on the way. This was clearly the plan all along, as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem sets up both a sequel and a TV series at the end. That series, titled Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, arrived on Paramount Plus in 2024 and has been equally as successful, so hopes are high heading into the second feature film. The sequel, which is scheduled to drop on October 9th, 2026, will see Donnie, Raph, Leo, and Mikey face off against the franchise's most iconic villain, Shredder. Speaking to Empire, director Jeff Rowe revealed that Shredder almost appeared in the first film before they decided to keep him back for the sequel. Rowe explained, "They saved Joker for The Dark Knight. The one thing I can say without spoiling anything is, Shredder needs to be 100 times scarier than Superfly, who is a credible villain. He's dangerous, he's strong, he seems like he could mess the Turtles up. Shredder needs to be that, just significantly more."
Awesome. Good. Love that I'm looking at that.
The Despicable Me franchise has generated over $5.5 billion since it debuted, and that figure is set to grow with the upcoming Minions 3. Shortly after Despicable Me 4 brought in the big bucks in 2024, Illumination and Universal announced that a third film in the Minions spin-off series was in development, with a projected release date of June 30th, 2027. That's a long way off, and as such, there's almost no information about the film's plot, which characters will return outside of the titular creatures, or anything of substance. The last Minions movie was 2022's Minions: The Rise of Gru, which is a prequel like its predecessor. That movie focused on Gru when he was 11, so it's likely that Minions 3 will continue the prequel trend by advancing the plot a few years into the future, possibly with Gru attending the villain school at the Lycée Pabon. In terms of concrete info, we know for sure that Minions 3 will be helmed by Pierre Coffin, the French animator who has voiced the Minions since they first appeared in Despicable Me back in 2010. Frozen was one of those movies that comes around once in a generation, taking the world by storm when it came out in 2013. Frozen 2 followed in 2019, and it was another big payday for Disney, pulling in almost $1.5 billion worldwide. Unsurprisingly, there's more Frozen on the horizon. In an announcement that surely thrilled shareholders, Bob Iger revealed that Frozen 3 was in the pipeline during the company's Q1 earnings call in February 2023. Iger didn't reveal much information about the sequel at the time, but we now know that Frozen 3 is set for a November 24th, 2027 release. Frozen 3 concept art hints at Norse mythology, with a possible Loki appearance in the cards. Iger clearly expects it to be another big hit, because he announced on Good Morning America that there are already plans in place for Frozen 4.
Frozen 3 is in the works, and there might be a Frozen 4 in the works too.
Iger didn't go into much detail about either film, but he confirmed Frozen director Jen Lee and her team were already working on 2 stories for the Frozen franchise. The first 2 Sing movies have generated over $1 billion between them, so a third entry made sense for Illumination. So it wasn't a big surprise when the company's CEO, Chris Meledandri, revealed to Variety that Sing 3 was on the cards in 2023. He revealed that the third film would feature characters from the previous films, but, quote, "It will take us into a new world." Meledandri also confirmed that Sing 2 had been a hit on streaming, which let him know that there was still an appetite for the franchise. Despite previously indicating that he was done with the series, Garth Jennings, who wrote and directed Sing and Sing 2, is listed as the writer-director of Sing 3 on IMDb, so it could be that he had a change of heart. The film is due to arrive sometime in the next few years, though no release date has been specified as of fall 2024. While Sony's live-action Spider-Verse films haven't done particularly well of late, it's a different story with its animated Spider-Man movies. The first and second installments in the Spider-Verse trilogy have been spectacular, boasting some of the most beautiful and unique animation in Hollywood history. The franchise has done stellar business at the box office, with the first two films earning over $1 billion between them. But when can we expect the third film? Not for a while yet, it would seem. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out in 2018, and it took another 5 years for Across the Spider-Verse to hit theaters. Given how complex the animation is, this makes sense. The threequel was initially planned for a March 2024 release, though that came and went with no new entry. At this point, Beyond the Spider-Verse likely won't arrive until 2026 or 2027. While Sony hasn't revealed any plot details, the way Across the Spider-Verse ended provides some clues. The third film will probably pick up where the last one finished, with Miles Morales stuck in an alternate reality where his other self has chosen a darker path and become the Prowler. Miles will have to deal with himself, in a manner of speaking, while the plethora of Spider-Man variants from the second film could return in some fashion. The Incredibles is another hugely successful Pixar franchise that exploded in popularity almost the moment it hit theaters. There have only been 2 films, with the first arriving in 2004 and Incredibles 2 coming in 2018. Fortunately, the gap between the second and third film won't be as long.
Well, what are you waiting for?
I don't know, something amazing, I guess.
Announced at the D23 convention in 2024, The Incredibles 3 reveal amounted to nothing but a shot of the title, but it was enough to send attendees into an enthusiastic round of applause. The only information that's come out since is that director Brad Bird, who helmed the first 2 films, will return for Incredibles 3. There's nothing concrete in terms of release date or plot just yet, but it's likely that Bird will repurpose some stuff he never got the chance to use in the second film. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, he revealed that he had to cut a lot of things from the second film when the powers that be decided to swap the release dates of Incredibles 2 and Toy Story 4, effectively shaving a year off the former's production time. He explained, "There were a lot of ideas that we had on this film that could be reused, whether it's another Incredibles film or something else."